A truck carrying 6 bodies arrives at a morgue in El Tambo in southwest Colombia, a town long at the center of the country's civil conflict. As family members grieve, soldiers and police look on. These killings were one of 3 incidents in just 24 hours that left at least 17 young people dead in remote regions of the country. It was the deadliest day since the signing of the 2016 peace deal with FARC rebels that aimed to end the worst of the violence. A week ago, Colombians had already been horrified by the killings of 8 college students near the border with Ecuador. Another 5 young people were shot dead just days before outside the city of Cali. Massacres of this nature had long been routine in Colombia's internal conflict, as paramilitaries, guerrillas and the army fought for control of territory. But after a lull, following the signing of the peace deal, violence has returned, as the government has failed to assume control and implement peace reforms in those areas.
Activist in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir alleges that he was manhandled and then threatened by the security forces. Now, Tanveer Ahmed was arrested after he had removed a Pakistani flag from a public place in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Now, the incident actually took place in the Dadial city, and reports say that the man was on hunger strike for the last several days. Now, this individual you're looking at on your screens reportedly demanded for the removal of Pakistan's flag in Dadial. Ahmed decided to take down the flag himself when the administration failed to do so. He also alleges that he was being followed by secret agents.
The president of Belarus has vowed to crack down on massive protests against his rule since a disputed presidential election earlier this month. Alexander Lukashenko used a visit to a military command post to say he'd protect his country from foreign interference. He again said NATO was preparing an invasion of Belarus, something the alliance denies. The fact that this is being done seriously is evidenced by the statements of Western countries, their public statements. This is direct intervention. This concerns sponsoring the opposition and pushing us to hold talks in the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Meanwhile, on Saturday, hundreds of women formed a line to protest the police crackdown on demonstrators in recent weeks. At least 3 protesters have died and dozens have had serious bruises after being beaten by officers in riot gear.
Into our top story this hour, China continues with its expansionist policy in Nepal. In the latest, the Nepal Survey Department has said that China has grabbed land in 7 border districts. According to a report by the Survey Department of Agriculture Ministry, China has illegally occupied Nepal's land in several places, spreading over 7 border districts. The report stated that Beijing is pushing Nepali boundaries by encroaching more and more on land in the garb of road construction. Districts in which land grabbing has been reported include Gorkha and Dharchula. Meanwhile, the KP Sharma Oli-led communist government has remained mum on the land encroachment issue, despite protests from opposition parties. Earlier, the opposition lawmakers asked the Nepalese government to reclaim the Nepali land from China.
Three Swania police officers have been killed in a head-on collision with a suspected drunk driver on the N4 between Trans-Orange Road and Rebecca Street in Pretoria. The accident happened after a high-speed chase involving a car they had tried to stop. The officers called for backup but died when the chase ended in a collision.
Do you have any regrets?
They avoided the crush of cameras at court by appearing via Zoom amid the pandemic. But actress Loughlin and husband Massimo Giannulli could not steer clear of prison. Loughlin sentenced today to 2 months, a $150,000 fine, and 100 hours of community service. Wiping away tears, Loughlin told the judge, "I thought I was acting out of love. I am truly and profoundly sorry." But the judge, who said he was dumbfounded, called her life a fairy tale. "You stand before me a convicted felon. And for what? The inexplicable desire to grasp even more. We can only hope you will spend the rest of your charmed life to make amends."
These reports claim to show the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, Japan.
The world's first atomic bomb.
La première bombe atomique de l'histoire.
Atomic bomb hit an enemy target.
But none of these are the bomb they called Little Boy. A DW investigation has revealed that the wrong footage has been used for decades by media companies around the world, even our own, to portray this historic moment. Let's go back to that mission in 1945. The official camera operator, Bernard Waldman, recorded the explosion, but his film wasn't developed properly and was lost. Another scientist, however, Harold Agnew, who observed both the Hiroshima and Nagasaki missions aboard an escort plane, had brought his personal camera with him. The Hoover Institution in California, where his 16mm film reel is held, believes his are the only film recordings of both mushroom clouds. Agnew's footage of Hiroshima is rarely used in TV reports and documentaries. His shots of the second bomb dropped on Nagasaki are often used instead.
Hafsa Ali Osman was married off at 13 by her father to a man who paid $100. She says she was beaten and raped for 2 years and then divorced.
My husband would go out to search for food. Then he would return home empty-handed and beat me, wanting to know why I hadn't prepared lunch for him, but I had nothing to cook.
There is no minimum age for marriage in Somalia. According to government data, nearly a third of all girls are married before the age of 18. But if a new bill before Parliament is passed, some girls will be married off as early as 10. Many activists like Hodana Ali reject the bill.